Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say YouTube TV. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So Much to Say YouTube TV is the place that you come to learn and grow because we discuss socially relevant things mixed with a splash of humor. If you know you have tissue paper feelings, this probably isn't the channel for you. But and however, since you're here, I just need for you to do two things. Hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and turn on that little bell so that you get the notification every single time that I go live or upload something new. I'll see you soon. Bye. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook and YouTube live versions of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Now, I just finished watching This Is Us for the second time. I watched it last night when it aired. This is season 6, the last season, episode 17. And I just watched it again because I just had to fully absorb myself in this because, yesterday was my anniversary. So, we had dinner and we cooked. And then we had wine and we were kind of chit-chatting. I was trying to sneak peeks at the TV while we were sitting and eating. And so I was kind of talking a little bit and kind of cooking a little bit. So I missed a couple little details. And so I had to watch it again so that I could speak from a place of knowing what the hell I was talking about. But I think I want Ryan to kind of, because he wouldn't watch it last night. He wouldn't watch it until today. And so I said I was going to call him so that we can discuss it. Is that all right with you? All right. Now, where the hell he at? I just said. I'm sitting here looking like, now where the hell he at? I just said I was about to call him.
It was funny because I thought I caught it because it only rung twice in my ear and then it hung up.
Oh, really? No, it went straight to voicemail. In fact, it's still on the other line. It says it's on hold. I probably need to hang that up though, because
you watched it again.
I had to watch it again, Ryan.
Oh, I don't see how you could do that.
I didn't cry this time. Now, last night, I was sitting at the table because, Carlton and I had dinner. And we had just finished cooking in the last maybe like 15 minutes of the show. And when I tell you, so at that point, he and I started kind of talking, just about the day and just whatever. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm missing the show. Like, but I wanted to be present too. So I was like, I got to watch it again because I knew I missed some stuff. Ryan.
I couldn't watch that again.
This has to be one of the best written shows on TV.
It is, man. Like, just the whole, first of all, the concept of the train go.
Come on, somebody.
Was just amazing. Like, just to start off that way was just like, wow.
I wish I could do a round table with the writers because I was thinking that, like, I just had myself a little snack a little while ago. And I was just like, I want to know whose idea it was to frame it on a train. That was brilliant. And the way that the train was basically her conduit from life to the afterlife. But here's what was even more brilliant. And I'm going to see if you caught this. The person who was ushering her through the train was where this whole story began.
Yes, indeed.
Randall's father. Yes. I was like, oh my God, Randall's father is the one that is taking her through this journey, like over her life and all of the, like crossing all of the people in her family. That was brilliant. It was brilliant the way that the doctor was the bartender because, clearly he had died because he was older anyway when, he had delivered the kids. And so he said to her, I almost lost you that day. I was just like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all trying to send me in. And then, like, as she was going through that train, the way that they went from the adult teenagers or the adults, and then back to teenagers, like, and then even to like the children. Because remember, like, not Tess, but what's their other daughter name, the youngest one?
It's Tess, Deja, and
whatever the youngest one.
yeah.
Remember when she said to Rebecca, she said, "You always told me something about making noise or standing out or something like that."
She said it's okay, like it's okay to be small.
Yes.
Or wait, something like that.
It's okay to be small as long as you know when to stand out or when to speak up or something like that. But it was brilliant the way they went from the older girl's voice and then it transitioned to the little girl's voice. And it was brilliant also how the way that they used the train and the intercom system. Because remember, the intercom system was almost like her being in her trance, as an Alzheimer patient. And remember, they kept saying, we don't even know if she can hear us. But that intercom system was like the way she was hearing them. That was brilliant.
Oh, my God.
It was simply brilliant. And then remember when she was walking through the train and she saw all of the Kevins and all of the Randalls. The only Randall they didn't show was the little boy. Did you notice that?
They showed him, but you only saw the back of his head.
Oh, okay.
It was like you saw the three, but it was like the one was standing up, but the one, he had his back to the camera.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't get to see his face.
But I thought that was brilliant the way they had all of the versions of each character, except for Kate, of course, because she wasn't there. And the way that she kept saying, Mandy Moore kept saying, I'm waiting for someone. Like she was waiting for Kate to come. Because I do believe that there are people when they are transitioning, they're waiting for their loved ones to show up. And then when they show up, they go ahead and pass. Like that was so brilliant to me. But even the way that they coalesced the story of that black family that had that car accident. They had that car accident the same night that their family had that fire. That was brilliant.
I was like, and the guy who wrote, well, he's the guy who writes most of the stories. But like he put on Twitter just like, he said, grab your tissues. He said, I couldn't even make it through, finish writing this story. I was like, oh, God.
Oh, my God. And
I didn't even know, like, after doing research, he's actually married to, the writer is married to the girl Kevin had kids with.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Wow. But it was beautiful the way that they coalesced their stories. That black family that had that car accident on the road the same night that they had that fire, and how the fathers talked in that break room, in that coffee room. And later, Jack ended up dying, but his son made it. And then remember how earlier when they showed the son as an adult, he was walking with that limp. And I was like, who is this? Who are these people? Because they kind of opened up the story with them. And I was like, I don't know who these people are. I was thinking that it was part of their family. I thought it was one of the families. And I was like, I can't place who they are. But they were just some random family. And then when they showed them as children and they had the car accident and he had the problem with his leg and he was trying to do that research for the cancer and it didn't work. But then later on he graduated and he had some breakthrough science work that he done for Alzheimer's. The family that, oh my God, they were in the hospital at the same time and she ended up having Alzheimer's and he ended up having, I was like, you know what?
I was like, this man, when I tell you, like, this show is just so freaking amazing. Like, I even got sad when they showed the preview for next week's episode. I was like,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, the next week's episode, is the final one or whatever, but
right.
I wonder are they gonna have a funeral?
I don't know. But you know what, Ryan? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even need a funeral.
I don't think so either.
I don't even think they need a funeral. Because I'm going to tell you something. When Rebecca, is that her name? No. Beth, Randall's wife. When Randall's wife went in there first and she said, as a mother, we never really know what we're doing. She said, but Rebecca, I was really just trying to mimic what I had seen you doing. Bitch.
And she was like, I got him from that.
I got him. And so he's good now. I got him. But even the doctor has said something like that. He said there's nothing left for you to do. You've done everything that you needed to. And that was so powerful, especially for people who have lost relatives, like parents especially, or grandparents, and sometimes they can't move on. And they're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it without them. And da-da-da. No, you really have everything that you need. Your parent, your grandparent, they gave you everything you need to move on. If people can just get to that thought, right? Because some people get so stuck and lost in that grief. And so when that doctor said to her, doctor/bartender, said to her, there's nothing else for you to do. You did a marvelous job. You know, like, look at what you had to deal with and you still overcame. Like, you survived. You lost your husband. But then how she saw Miguel on that train briefly. It was powerful. I mean, to be honest with you, and I don't even know how to say this, but it made me think last night when I was watching it. It made me more at ease or at peace about death. You know what I mean? Because like she didn't seem scared, like the one that was walking through the train, the Rebecca that was walking through the train. She didn't seem scared. She seemed at peace. She seemed like she she was at a resolve because she had done everything. Once she heard from everybody and everybody was good, it was like she was okay to just go on.
And see, like for me, it made me think of like you know, when that time comes, you know, for my parents, you know, and things like that. It was like, oh Lord,
it was
amazing. Like I was sitting over here, like I think I watched at 8 o'clock this morning, and I was like, I think I went to the gym at 12, and I think it was still on my mind.
It was good. I mean, they did their good writing on this. They did their good writing. And I mean, it was just brilliant the way they used that train. And remember, what was Randall's father's name? William was like, okay, Rebecca, we got to go, we got to keep moving. And so then she moved to the next car. And then when he was trying to get her to go in that last car, and she's like, wait. She was like, no, I told you I'm waiting for someone. And then Kate come running, and I loved how they put it in slow motion of her running. And then she came and she says, Mom, it's me, Buck. When she said Buck, that's when I got real verklempt. Like, I was like, oh, she didn't use her little nickname. And it came through that intercom system on that train.
Yes.
I was like, my God, today. She said, it's me, Buck. She said, Ma, I love you so much. And then it just came full circle for me because remember they had such a volatile relationship when she was young. And then when
so they asked the guy, the writer, they said, so why did you select a train to symbolize the final journey of Rebecca's life? And he said, I always had in my mind that Rebecca was going to pass at the end of the episode, and I knew we would potentially be revisiting a family and the child who survived on the night of Jack's death. I just wasn't sure how we could show Rebecca's mind's eye and crossing over. Then he said at the beginning of the season, he was taking his little boy to Travel Town in LA. And that's where they have a lot of trains. He said, you ride on the train, blah, 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 and the romance of it all. So he said at the beginning of the season, the first episode is the very Travel Town and how Rebecca will start losing her first word, caboose, and not being able to find it. And he said that's how he ran with that.
That was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And then the other part of it too was, remember how when Randall and Kevin went into the room and he said, I don't even know if she can hear us. And remember they were talking before that about that snow globe. And he was like, oh, I know it's a snow globe. And then they cut to her on that train. Clearly she could hear them because remember she picked up a snow globe. Did you peep that?
Yes, I did.
I was like, oh, she listening. She hear y'all. And she picked up that snow globe. And I was just like, oh my God. It's almost like I just felt like they thought of every little thing.
He said it was very important for him to get William to be her spiritual guide.
Yes.
He said, I fought for that one.
But it made so much sense because that was how that story, their story. I mean, the whole premise of the show was about them losing their triplet and adopting this little black baby. And so we never met Randall's mother, really. So it made sense that William was the one that ushered her through that train because they had a relationship. Remember, they had that secret relationship because she always knew where he was. Remember, they were in communication. Like, she knew how to find him. And she had those letters and stuff those communications that they had between each other. And, you know, so it just made sense. And of course, we saw him die after he lived with Randall and Beth. So it made sense that he was the one there. I mean, I think it would, because I'm sure the other writers or whomever probably wanted Jack to be the one to meet her. But that would have been too obvious. It was great that he was at the end. And when she got to that last, because I was like, well, because I kept saying, I know he's going to be on this train. He's going to be the last one she sees. And when she got in there and that bed was empty, I was like, what the fuck? But then when she laid down, I could see him. I said, there he is. I was like, oh my God. I really want to know how.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to know how they directed her because she wasn't crying, which I thought was great. She was almost like optimistic and just, you know what I mean? Like, she was optimistic and she felt resolved. You know what I mean? Like, she felt, she just wanted to make sure she got to, you know, make sure Kate was there. But once she recognized that everybody was there, it was almost like she was at peace. Like, I was glad that they didn't have her crying or sobbing, especially when she heard Beth speaking or Kate speaking or anybody like that. You know what I mean?
And at first I was like, is this Marcus? You know, the way the episode went, you would have thought Marcus was going to be Deja's baby daddy. Like, the way they directed. I was sitting there like, Marcus, the guy, the scientist or whatever he was. I was like, oh, that must be Deja's man.
That's who I thought too. That's why I was saying when it first came on, I was like, who is this family? And I said, well, it must have been Deja's boyfriend. Because remember, he had gone to medical school and, well, no, she was in medical school.
Right.
She was in medical school. And I was like, well, who is this family? So that's why it's so brilliant because they didn't put flashback. They didn't make the screen grainy to make you think that it was back in the day. They just left it up to the viewer to figure it out that, oh, this is a family that they encountered back in the day when Jack was still alive and they had that house fire. You know what I mean? They didn't spell it all the way out. Like, I love that. Like, they leave room for you to think for your damn self. It was just, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And then it just all came together because it was like all of these different stories running concurrently. Because even when those children of that family that had that car accident, remember they were sitting in that diner? That was present day. You know, when not present day per se, but, you know, it was later in life when they got older. And they were sitting in that diner after their own parents were dead. But it was also before he had that breakthrough research with Alzheimer's too. So that's when it started to make sense. I was like, oh, those are those children that were in that car.
And see, that's what because at first I was like, I don't remember a girl.
Right?
I don't remember a girl, but then I was like, well, maybe, you know, she comes later on because I felt like she was so big, so, you know, whatever. But then it was two boys and a girl.
There was two boys and a girl in the back of that car, and it was the little boys fighting over that ball or whatever that thing was. And I was like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. But it looks like they have something over here on Hulu. I don't know if it's like a director's cut or what. Let me see what this said. It was something up here, but it was powerful. It really was powerful. I was just like, oh my God, they got in for this. It says, Milo through his lens. So like the father, like I guess this is like it's like a recap for him. So I'm gonna have to watch.
That whole episode was just like, at first I was this morning like, I'm not ready for this, but you know what? You gotta watch. So
Listen.
I started watching it. And I was like, oh.
There aren't too many TV shows on that are as well written as this.
No, not at all.
I mean, they really pulled it together.
I mean, for that to be the first one to talk about Anka, I was like,
Ooh.
I said, here we go.
I love that she went first too. Like I was just like, I wonder if it matters to them. I mean, I wonder if there was a science to or a method to his madness when he decided that she went first. But you know what I noticed? The only person who didn't go in there and speak was the girl who Kevin had those kids by.
Right. I didn't see her either.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't necessarily need her to.
I did like the fact that like they show like Kevin and his girl like at the younger age, and, you know, the middle age. I'm like, oh,
that was brilliant how they brought that entire cast back like that. Because it's like a flash over your life. And I've heard people say, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard people say that, you know, when you pass or when you're passing, like you do have a moment where you can flash over your entire life and see like all of the people that you encounter. I don't think it means every single person, but you know what I mean. But you think about those people that, and you see them at different stages, you know, in their life or in your, you know, from your life. But I was just like, wow. But I have got to tell you about my conference call today for Gay Like Me Conversations. But I can't do it right now. If you want to hear the rest of this, you got to go on over to Patreon. The link is right here. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and I just wanted to introduce you to the Goalie Gummies if you're not already familiar. So this is the original Goalie Gummy. This is good for burning belly fat, as well as curbing your appetite. Right? It's just going to be your for beauty, wellness, and nutrition. This is the superfruit. Then we have the all-around health from within. This is the green, the super greens. And then of course we have the ashwagandha. This is good for calming, relaxing, sleeping, anxiety, calming anxiety. The same ones, but this is for the chocolate lovers that are out there. So use my promo code. It's Craig the Writer Stewart. Visit www.goalie.com and the promo code is Craig the Writer Stewart. That's free shipping and of course 15% off. One of the best parts of life is when you can admit the truth to yourself about yourself. Cyberspace is a world where one can become something he isn't, but everything he dares to be. I wasn't interested in getting attached to anyone, and I knew I wouldn't take anyone I met online seriously. I had multiple screen names to increase my chances of meeting someone attractive. The majority of the profiles noted HIV negative under status, but I knew better from the work I had done in the HIV community. I knew 1 out of 3 black gay men was positive. The messages I found in my inbox validated me in my depression. In some strange way, they reinforced that I was worthy and deserving. My days consisted of waking up and logging on to see how many messages had accrued overnight. Months passed before I got honest with my therapist about what was happening with me. And before I knew it, I heard myself say, I've been having sex with people I meet online. To listen to more of Words Never Spoken in Memoir, visit audible.com. I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He sat them. To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com.